There's a ferocity in people that are that close to death, an indignant anger at the degradation of mortal suffering that drives them mad. I knew, looking at my sister then, how serious her illness was, and felt myself engulfed in such desperation that I sat for a long time in silence, aware of her vast, black, lunatic's eyes upon me. Then I got up and went to confront my father, an advent that had now become a grim routine. "You're effing a hole," I snapped, kicking the wheels of his computer chair as he sat, wincing, with his back to me. "You knew what happened way before that cop turned up, right? And you didn't do anything. You let things get this bad. You don't know what I've been doing," my father protested, holding up his hands in submission. "Lita hasn't got any worse recently. I'm trying everything I can." At that moment, I hated him, this thin mockery of an adult with his blotchy, balding scalp, all blundering anxiety, his flapping inability either to seek justice for my sister, or to help her eat. As far as I was concerned, my father had sat idle at his laptop as she had cliff-dived into wounded obsession, which had perhaps been the reason Lita had taken that dangerous road home, lacking the parental steering that might have set her on another path. "I'll never forgive you for this," I snarled, unmoved by the cringing servility in my father's eyes. "And I bet Lita won't either. You're a horrible dad." I marched out of the room, slamming the door so hard against the wall that it dented the plaster. That night I had the worst night's sleep I'd known since I was 10 years old. Sometimes I dreamt of Lita, a little girl lost in fathomless trees, beckoned down to their roots by a figure I couldn't quite see. From time to time I'd jolt half awake as though I'd tripped over an unseen step before plummeting back into another weird slumber, repeating the pattern so many times that I can't be sure if I ever really woke up at all. When I awoke again, I didn't go back to sleep, getting out of bed with such haste that the blankets wound about my ankle and almost tripped me. Half laughing at my dozy absence of coordination, I decided to make a trip to the bathroom. It was as I stepped out across the landing that I saw the door to Lita's room was open, the space within, though dark, clearly empty. Most likely she'd either gotten up to make herself secretly sick, or else snuck out to see one of her weird new friends. Both had happened before, and I regretted not having tried to intervene. Running a hand through my tousled hair, I turned back to my room, intending to get dressed and head out in search of her. Then I heard it, a low, throaty groan. It was coming from the direction of my father's bedroom, and as a muttered, indistinct word followed I understood that he was not alone. I stopped in the hallway, my gut a pit of sour consternation. Dad hadn't found another partner after my mother, who was too chronically shy to attempt the dating world all over again. If there was another person in his room with him, then it could only be my sister, and I knew that I could not in good faith leave her alone if one of them was unwell. Two figures lay together in the semi-dark, colored only by the nauseous tungsten light of my father's bedside lamp. My dad lay across the mattress, white as a pig's belly, and perspiring so heavily that the air was thick with his unwashed reek. Apart from a pair of sad, graying sleep shorts, his legs were bare. My sister crouched on all fours between them, her face pressed to his upper thigh. Hair fell about her slender back in damp, filthy clumps, and as I watched her spine jerked and spasmed like a clay figure in a poorly done stop-motion picture. I fell sideways against the door, my balance capsized by bilious horror. "What the hell is this?" "It's not what you think, Jonathan," my dad protested, weakly, though not even attempting to rise from the bed towards me. "After what happened, it's the only way. I've been doing this for months." I tried to hide it. She asked me to. At first I said no, but I had to give in. "I'm losing my mind. You've got to believe me." He pushed at Lita ineffectually, unable to dislodge her from his leg even with all his strength. It was only when I said my sister's name that she looked up, her eyes drenched in the black of that afternoon, and I saw that her face wore a grin of blood, that her little feral hands were slick with it. A vein in my dad's thigh was open, seeping its contents in a lazy stream upon the sheets. "She's been eating," said my father, wearily. "In her own way, she's been eating all along."